Hello everyone and welcome to the long-awaited public update preview patch notes. People have been asking me for, ever since the public update went live, they've been asking me, what are your thoughts on this and that and that? I wanted to wait for the official patch notes until I made a video or shared my opinion, and the official patch notes are now out. So let's do it! Right, hello community, as March winds down, we wanted to give players a public update preview. See below for additional information of the areas of the build you want to check it out. Please note that we don't provide exhaustive patch notes like we do with our updates to the live game, but we will direct your attention to areas of the game where your feedback will be helpful. So it's not going to be like everything, but it's mostly about balance changes, I would say. Right, this build contains small trees and idle villagers as in-game settings. Idle villagers? We already have idle villagers. Wait, what? I'm not sure exactly what they mean by this one. But yeah, small trees being an option and a feature in the game is huge. I think so many people will have their eyes opened by this. And I imagine this is especially helpful for Xbox, maybe? Who knows? Anyway, idle villagers, I'm not sure what that's going to be looking like, but we'll find out. Anyways, idle villager pointer. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's the exclamation mark over the idle villagers. Okay, it's fine. So balance changes, we have huge changes coming up. These are probably gonna be the changes that will have the most impact on, or let's say meta shift in the game that has ever been updated. Like through all the previous patches we've had since E came out, this is the one that is gonna have the biggest impact on direction of civilizations and viability of certain units, in my opinion. Let's see. So, first off, Eagle Scout, Eagle Warrior, and Elite Eagle Warrior cost increased from 20 food and 50 gold to 25 food and 50 gold. So, essentially, a 5 food increase on Eagle Warriors. It's a small thing, but obviously, Eagle Warriors are so easy to play because they're so cheap on food. You just need like 10 bills on gold and like 5 farmers, and you can spam Eagles forever. This is going to make it a little bit more difficult to produce those Eagles because you also want to get all the upgrades, etc., etc., etc. But I think this is a very positive change. This is a change we've actually been calling for a while. This has been a suggestion months, if not years ago, to make the food cost of Eagles a little bit more. So, great change in my opinion, big thumbs up. Long swordsman upgrade research time decreased from 45 to 40 seconds. Not a big deal, 5 seconds, sure, why not? 200 swordsman as well, 15 seconds less. That's actually a bit noticeable. I didn't know it was that long. Okay, fair enough. And champion down to 85 seconds. Also cool. Why not? They're continuing this push of like trying to make the swordsman line a little bit more viable. These things help for sure. Pikeman upgrade research time decreased as well, 10 seconds. That's quite neat. The upgrade cost as well decreased. This one I'm a little bit scared about. Like, a part of me thinks that they are pushing infantry a bit too much, because I'm scared now of a civ like... I mean, we can get to that in the end, but like, Slavs with infantry, monk, siege, whew, scary. So pikeman is now 10 seconds faster to research, and the upgrade is now 160 food and 90 gold, so a 55 food decrease in the upgrade. Again, not a massive deal, but certainly it might make sense to do the pikeman upgrade if you have like 5, 6, 7 leftover spearmen from fuel age, etc. Supplies research time is now only 20 seconds. I think the reason for this is that I want to make it more viable to research supplies early in feudal age, right? To also like give the player the option to like, hey, I want to start making militia or men at arms right away in feudal age, but I don't want to make them until I have supplies. And if it's only 20 seconds to do the upgrade, you can start that way earlier. So that's quite neat. New technology. This one is quite big. Gambesons. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Gambesons. Gambesons? Feels like a French word, kind of. Gambesons. Okay, whatever. Anyway, militia line plus 1 pierce armor. So, militia, men at arms, long swords, 200 swordsmen, and champion all get plus 1 pierce armor with this upgrade. Not every civilization has this tech, so it is a bit selective in that regard, but yeah, plus 1 pierce armor. How much does this change them? Quite a bit, probably. I mean, you take less damage from something like skirmishes, for example. Obviously, you take less damage from everything. But the point is, they just get a little bit more of that sustain that they might need in order to be a more viable unit for as a meat shield, maybe for raiding or whatever, like as a late game option when you have like, you don't have too much gold, but you still have healthy food. Maybe sneak, like instead of dropping stables and making light cap, you can drop 2-3 barracks and just start raiding with some champions. Who knows? We'll see. This will come after supplies, so I don't think you get it in Fuel Age. Yeah, available in Castle Age. So you will need to do supplies before you can do this tech, in case you have both of them. The cost is 100 food, 100 gold. Very cheap for a +1 Pierce armor. For like an additional +1 Pierce armor. So very good indeed. And it's only 25 seconds to research. Alright, so Gambazons availability are for Aztecs, Bengali, Bulgarians, Burmese, Byzantines. Well, you can see the civs here. So not every civ is going to have it. It's disabled for all of these civs. So Malians, for example, they already get a ton of Pierce armor by a civ bonus. So they don't get the upgrade. So many other significant infantry civs here. Italians don't get it, so... Well, actually doesn't work on Condottiero anyway, so it's all good. Huns Longsword don't get it. Very sad. Goth don't get it. Obviously, I think Goth with it would be quite OP. Britain's not having it is a bit of a surprise, because Britain's always had fully upgraded infantry. So yeah, Aztecs obviously will be great with them, because you get the extra attack from the unique tech. Bulgarians get all those men-at-arms upgrades for free, so that's going to be quite nice. Burmese with extra attack. Celts faster moving ones. Japanese faster attack. Portuguese cheaper, because they save gold. Slavs are the one I think gets a really big push from this. Teutons obviously with the extra melee armor as well. Teutons champions might be insane now. But okay, that's a real cool... I don't think this is like... what I'm always scared about if when they keep trying to push a certain type of unit is that they overdo it, right? But I think they've kept it within the reasonable distance here, where it's not a big tech. It's only +1 Pierce armor, right? Sure, they've made these upgrades take less time to research, and the pikeman is a bit cheaper, but it's not like a crazy change in infantry, right? Eagles as well being a bit nerfed in cost makes militia line more viable as well against mesocivs. But point is, I think this is a good step to try and make them a bit more played. Especially, I think I can see them being played way more in Trash Wars or Imperial Age. But also, I look forward to seeing how they're gonna play out in like Castle Age in particular, if they actually get into the meta at some point suddenly. Will be really cool. Fishing ship collision size reduced from 0.5 to 0.4. I think this is gonna help on like fish booming with fish traps. So Rage Forest, let's go. I still think the fishing ship logic and the way they work when the fish traps run out in particular is a bit awkward, but it's going to make it a bit easier to manage the fishing ships in general. I think also they will gather better around if they're all taking the same short fish or deep fish. They will also not collide as much, so that's quite nice. Trade cog as well, significant reduction, 0.5 to 0.3, so maybe we'll see more trade cogs in the future, who knows. Elite Step Lancer Pierce Armor, they got 2 Pierce Armor now instead of 1, so suddenly you have Step Lancers with Tatars, for example, unless there's changes to Tatars, where Lancers are... Maybe they're a very good unit now in Post-Imp as well for Tatars. Heavy Scorpion upgrade decreased from 1000 food and 1100 wood to 800, 900. Solid change, you don't see Scorpions enough for how good they can be, so I like that change. Murder Holes research time is decreased heavily as well. I feel like Murder Holes is a tech that you do more often when it's like, oh shit, he's just sitting under my castle. Let me do Murder Holes. So I think this makes sense. It has a bigger, faster impact once you need it. Sapper's upgrade cost changed from 400 food, 200 gold to 400 food, 200 wood. Nice change, because always feels like sad to like invest gold into this. But they also now add +3 bonus damage versus rams for villagers. So I think sappers are suddenly a good tech for almost every civilization, because villagers taking out rams is a common thing in the game at any stage, and this is gonna make, or for any civilization, so I assume every civ has sappers? I don't actually know that, but I would imagine so. This is actually a very useful tech all of a sudden. In practice, this means +3 damage against armored siege elephants and trebuchets, +2 against cap drums, and +1 against siege drum. So, very useful upgrade indeed. Oh, not every civ has sappers? Okay. Well, feels bad for those that don't. Elephant Archer train time decreased from 34 to 30 seconds. I'm not sure about this. I feel like Elephant Archers, I mean, I've been playing a fair bit of Rage Forest lately, and we see Elephant Archers a lot there. And Elephant Archers are really good. So to give them buffs that they're doing here, as well, the Elite Upgrade is researched. Elite Upgrade Research is cheaper now as well. Oh, they even changed it from 1,000 food gold to 800 wood, 500 gold. Ooh, that's gonna be way easier to get the upgrade now, I think. Because it's the food count. Like they are so expensive to build to begin with. There are 13 civs that don't get sappers. Damn. Feels bad, man. Anyways, Elephant Archers, they cost so much food to make that now the elite upgrade is wood and gold as well. That's a massive upgrade for the Elephant Archers, in my opinion. Siege Elephant upgrade cost increased from 650 food to 850 food. I think that's a very good one. It's just way too cheap to upgrade it, and the Siege Elephants are so good. I think they should have the same cost as Rams, honestly. Now, of course, you spend food to build them, but it's still a crazy good upgrade. Genitors affected by recurve bow, tower shields, and Byzantine skirmisher discount. That's nice. I mean, you need a Berber ally to have access to this unit, but why not? It's nice. Cannon Galleon adjustment. These changes simplify the damage of Cannon Galleons by removing its numerous bonus damage versus almost all units and increasing the base damage accordingly. Also fixed a bug where Cannon Galleons sometimes wouldn't damage the targeted unit. Added a little bit of splash damage to the projectile as a small buff against clumped units. So they're a little bit more like bomber cannons now, where they do a little bit of splash damage as well. So Cannon Galleon damage increased from 35 to 35 for regular and 45 for elite to 50 and 60. Elite Galleon bonus damage versus infantry, archer, cavalry, and Mamelukes decreased from 15 to 0. I had no idea they had bonus damage against those, but okay. Bonus damage against siege decreased from 40 to 25. It's just to align with the increase in base damage, so it makes sense. Accuracy increased from 50% to 100. Okay, okay. Spanish cannon guns are gonna be sick. And they got a bit of blast radius now. That's quite neat. So I guess this is for regular cannon galleon, this is for elite. So slightly a boost for elite cannon galleon as well. Do you think eagles are viable now? Yes. Cannon galleon receives attack ground ability. Guys, when this patch is out, I'm going to be playing some cannon galleons on water maps, and we're going to have some masterpiece target fire. I can't wait for that. That's fun. Also, it's like, why not? This makes sense, right? Why shouldn't? Imagine Spanish cannon galleons with target fire. Okay, I know my next masterpiece. I'll tell ya. I know my next masterpiece. Fix an issue where cannon galleons sometimes wouldn't damage the target unit. Makes sense? Shouldn't be there. Right. Only tested this, it's still bad. Doesn't matter, it will be fun, okay. Cannon galleons and Black Forest Lakes, yes. Okay, so now we go into the Civ specific changes. So Aztecs, they receive Gambesons. Again, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it doesn't matter. So they only get the 50 extra gold after they complete the first town center. We're gonna see a lot of these types of changes that will be like after completing the first town center as we go along. So Bengali, new bonus, melee cavalry gain +2 bonus damage against skirmishers. Now Bengali have light cavalry and elephants as melee cavalry. They don't have knights, if I remember correctly. Wait, do they? Can someone fill me in on if Bengali have knights? They will have the Ratha as well. Yeah, Rathas too, for sure. So skirmishes kind of was a counter to Ratha, but now if they get this +2 bonus damage, suddenly Ratha might melt. Wait, they have knights? Okay, so Bengali have knights apparently. Do they have cavalier though? Question mark. I'm not sure. But anyway, this is quite a nice Civ bonus in general, because skirmishes were built a lot to counter elephant archers, Ratha. So we'll see how this plays out. Mahayana effect now also applies to monks. Small thing, but it's quite nice because you kind of build a lot of monks with Bengalis many times. They do not have knights. Okay, see, that's what I thought. Yeah. And they gain supplies and receive Gambesons. Okay, so Bengali now, they don't have the last armor upgrade for infantry, so I still don't think we'll see a lot of them, but with this upgrade, who knows? Berber's villager movement speed adjusted to 5% in Dark Age and 10 in Feudal Age. It used to be 10 through every age. I think this is just to, first of all, it's a slight nerf to their economy with everything in mind, but also it makes their villager war and villager fighting a little bit less in favor of Berbers. I don't mind this, I think this is nice. Bohemians, Hussite reforms, research costs reduced from 800 food, 450 gold to 500 food, 450 gold. Hussite reforms. This is the one where... Wait, is this the one where gunpowder moves faster, or is this the one where you turn the monastery tax into food cost? I do not remember. I feel like it is the faster gunpowder. Oh, it's the trash monks? Okay, so it's not. So this is just pushing a little bit more for people to use monks that don't cost gold, pretty much. Fair enough. All the texts also only cost food after this, so it's quite a neat upgrade. With this cost, I think we'll see it a lot more. Britain's team bonus decreased from 20% to 10% faster working archery ranges. Britons were insane as a team or a civilization on team games because those ranges working faster just gives such a big push for the allies as well, and yourself. I think this is a fine change. Fixed an issue where the town standard cost discount was not reducing the cost of repairing. Should they have a decrease in repair cost though? I feel like it would be fine if it wasn't. But apparently it's cheaper for Britons now to repair town centers. Okay. Bulgarians receive gambesons. Stone discount does not apply for starting town center. There's another one. Fine change as well. Burgundians, this is something where they're changing the Flemish militia, but they're still keeping it in the game. So Flemish militia cost decreased from 60 food and 25 gold to 50 food and 15 gold. That's the general cost of a single Flemish militia after you've done their tech, where you can produce them from the town center. Flemish militia production after researching Flemish Revolution moved from town center to barrack. So now you don't need to move them, you don't build them from town centers anymore, you actually build them from the barrack. They decreased the HP from 75 to 60, damage from 12 to 11, pierce armor from 1 to 0. And the Flemish Revolution cost changed from 1200 food and 650 gold to 200 food, plus 10 food per villager converted, and 150 gold, plus 5 gold per villager converted. So effectively, if you convert 100 villagers, you pay 650 gold and 1000 food extra. Okay. So in general, it's going to be more expensive to pull off Flemish Revolution. But it's still in the game. I don't like it. But they have nerfed the Flemish militia significantly. Damage is a little bit less, HP is a lot less, pierce armor lacking. I think it's now going to be way easier to counter Flemish militia. But it's still in the game. I'm personally just not a fan of the situation where you can snap your fingers and you suddenly have 200 military. I'm not a fan of that. But okay, they've made changes where it's going to be easier to deal with. But it's also now like, if you do it with like 60 villagers, it's cheaper than it was before. So it's a buff. No, I think this is a good change. Let's see how it plays out. Again, still not a fan of the tech, but this is better than what it was, at least. Burmese, Elite Arambai upgrade cost adjusted from 1100 food and 675 gold to 1000 food and 750 gold. So just shrinking the gap a little bit, but the cost remains roughly the same. And they receive gambesons as well. So Burmese champions now are going to be pretty damn good. Byzantines, Greek fire now additionally provides 5 splash damage to bomber towers. I'm not sure how big the splash damage is though from bomber towers, but that's cool. They receive gambesons as well. Celts, stronghold effect increased from 25 to 33% attack speed to towers and castles. This is the castlage unique tech that increases the attack speed of towers and castles, just for those that don't know. It now additionally heals allied infantry near castles by 30 HP per minute. So just standing within, I guess, a radius of 1 or 2 around castles will heal your units. 30 HP per minute, that's pretty solid to be fair if you have like 40 wounded infantry next to the castle. You know what I can imagine here? They receive this tech as well. What I can imagine here is that you play like an Imperial Age game where gold is running low and you're playing champions because they're cheap, you'll take fight against trash units and you'll just back off to your castle after and you'll like heal up for free. This is quite a neat tech. I mean, you can already garrison and heal up with like herbal medicine, but this is obviously way easier. I wonder if it will stack. Yeah, I'm not sure if it will stack either. But yeah, it's a 7-tile radius around the castle. So 7 tiles every direction. That's huge. That's huge. Chinese start change from +3 villagers and -200 food to +2 villagers and -150 food. So what this does is, I haven't tested it myself. I don't know exactly what changes there, but I feel like it's just to make Chinese a little bit more noob friendly. I think they're still going to be very strong. The castle stack? I think they will change that though. I don't think that should be able to stack. So yeah, I think this will just make Chinese a little bit more noob friendly. I'm not sure if it changes the start too much for Chinese. Probably slightly, because you will now produce a villager instead of loom. So it is a nerf, I imagine, to Chinese. I guess it makes sense. Did I say -10 food? -150 food. So you start with a 50 food, so you'll queue up a villager at the start instead of queuing up loom. So you don't get that 2.5 villager lead as before. You're probably now gonna get 1.5 villager lead, something like that. So I think it's a good change to Chinese in general, because Chinese are kind of OP. Where they're getting a buff here is on Nomad. You will build your TC, you will spawn 2 villagers, and you can produce the 3rd one. Actually, will it buff Nomad? Actually, it probably doesn't buff Nomad, does it? It doesn't change anything on Nomad, never mind. Dravidians, new bonus. Siege units cost -33% wood. Dravidians do have Siege Challenger, they do have Bomber Cannons, so this is a very nice bonus for them. And they receive Gambison, so a lot of buff for Dravidians. I don't mind it, Dravidians are kind of meh territory, so I think Dravidians they're starting to become a very capable civilization. Ethiopians, team bonus effect change from towers and outpost +3 line of sight to outpost +3 line of sight and stone cost removed. Quite neat. I mean, outposts are already used quite a lot, but when they don't cost stone, you'll probably see them even way more. So that's pretty cool. Royal heirs effect change from shuttle warriors trained 100% faster to shuttles and camel units receive -3 damage from mounted units. So all cavalry units will do, well, mounted units, that also mean like cavalry archers, ranged mounted units. The wording doesn't specify it, but I would imagine that they, for example, now take 3 less damage against something like a Mangudai. Unless it's only supposed to be mounted melee units. Not 100% sure. It impacts cow archers as well? Okay. I mean, they don't have bloodlines. But I guess it is incentive for Ethiopians to play something like camels or more shuttles warriors in Imperial Age, compared to what now is pretty much just Halbs, Arbalest, or Siege. It includes cow archers and armored elephants. Franks receive Gamstones. Gamstones, no change whatsoever to their civilization. Goth are getting a new bonus. And I think initially they were talking about removing the faster killing boar bonus, but they kept that one. And effectively now they have a 20% longer lasting hunt. Small buff to Goth. Nothing else changed about the Civ. I think that's fine. We'll see how this plays out. Considering that Goth also can carry a lot more, suddenly I think you can justify going more for like long distance deer gathering. You can like put 2 villagers or 3 on each deer and they'll get more food in the end. So it's quite solid. I think I like it. So Kshatriyas for Gujaras is the cost is increased from 200 food and 400 gold to 500 food and 450 gold. Very necessary. I think that's one of the most OP techs in the game right now. It's pretty much it reduces food cost of all your military by 25%, which is insane. I still think it's too cheap even looking at it now. If they made it like 15% or at least 20%, fine, but 25% discount is so much. Shivamsha Riders, Shivamsha Riders cost increased from 70 food 20 gold to 70 food 30 gold. I think that's also fair. Shivamsha Riders are quite strong So I think it makes sense to make them a little bit more expensive. And the reload time is increased. So the reload time is the time it takes for them to recover the arrow dodge. Like, you know, they dodge, I think 4 ranged projectiles. Another reload is going to take longer. Also very necessary, because this unit is just insane value for money right now. Let's see how this change affects it. But positive changes, in my opinion. Huns. Atheism cost decreased 500 food, 500 gold to 500 food, 300 wood. So again, just getting rid of that gold cost makes atheism way more easier to upgrade. It does... the main use for it in competitive play is to lessen the gold income from enemy relics. It's fine. It's not a massive thing. So, Incas, one of the civs that are going to have the biggest change here. Andean Sling now additionally provides +1 damage to slingers. That's the unique tech in Castle Age. Fixed an issue where slingers incorrectly gained attack speed from thumb ring. I didn't know that, but nice. New bonus. Military units cost -15, 20, 25, 30% each age. So, if I understand correctly, their Eagle Warriors will cost like 22 food in Castle Age. No, 25%. They will cost 20 food in Castle Age. No. No, 21 food. They will cost 21 food in Castle Age, 22 or 23 food in Feudal Age, and in Imperial Age they'll actually be cheaper. So than the original Eagles. So Incas might actually step up and be the best Eagle civilization after these changes come in. Wait, are they 19 food in Castle Age? No, that has to be Imperial Age, right? Should be 21 food in Castle Age. Never do math on stream, they say. Is it 19 in Castle Age? Yikes. Okay. So they're actually cheaper compared to the Eagle right now in Castle Age then. No, 21.25 in Castle. See, I'm correct. You guys are messing with my mind now. I think it's 19... Wait, so it's 19 in... I'm getting mixed signals here. 19 in Castle Age. 21, 25 in Castle Age. 17.5 in Imperial Age. 18.7. Debated. I don't know what the cost is anymore. Anyway, what I'm saying is, I think Incas will likely have the best Eagles in the game now. And it's a bit scary that the Eagles are actually going to be cheaper than what they are today. So that's a bit scary, but again, actually when you combine that with slingers in Castle Age, like what's the counter to Eagles then when the slingers are going to be cheaper as well? This will be interesting. Incas, at least I think they're going to sail up as the new Eagle King potentially, especially because they still have the unique tech in Imperial Age. So, the affected units of the military discount is Militia Line, Spearman Line, Eagle Line, Skirmisher Line, Slinger, Kamayuk, Genitor, Condottiero, Petards, Axolotl Warrior. Actually, this is a really sick. Axolotl Warriors, whoo! Incas are going to be quite insane. Incas are going to be quite insane. I feel like. Maybe they're the best Mesociv after this. Who knows? Elite Kamyuk cost increased... So the Kamyuks are increased the cost from 60 to 30 gold. It's just to like align with the military discount, so it's not too broken, right? So it will be a little bit more expensive, but it's actually cheaper still. Slinger cost is also increased, so yeah, I guess they're balancing out this change with an actual increase in their original base cost, so it's not too strong. Bonus removed, start with a free llama. However, team bonus, they removed the line of sight from spears and skirms, and now the whole team starts with a free llama. So this is effectively a bonus for you yourself as well, but now the teammates will also get the llama. I like it. Finally, they have a useful team bonus. I think we'll see Incas a lot more in competitive play, both 1v1 and team games in the future. Having an extra llama, even as Arabia as a flank or pocket, helps a lot. Stone discount does not apply to starting town center. Makes sense? Japanese now have access to hoardings, so their castles have more sustainability. Kataparuta cost is reduced Man, if I have a pond and a ranged forest with docks, I'm making 15 trebuchets, 20 trebuchets a game. And this discount, I like it. Again, you don't see it too much in the game in general, so this is fine. And they received a new unique tech. So, or new tech. So good on Japanese, slight buff for them. Khmer, Ballista Elephant armor changed from -2 to 0. Cavalry armor from -2 to 0. Siege armor from -2 to 0. This fixes various bugs where Ballista Elephants would receive additional damage even from units which had +0 attack versus siege or cavalry armor. All infantry units, Chugunu, Step Lancers. The addition of Hussite armor will cause them to receive more damage from siege, such as mangonels and bombard cannons. So they're not. So what I understand here is effectively that Ballista Elephants, the damage they're taking in general is not going to change. It's going to be the same. Just they don't get accidental more damage, but now they will take more damage from siege. So siege is probably going to be the main way to counter a massive Ballista Elephants. So onagers, bombard cannons. Ballista Elephant gain Hussite wagon armor with a value of +20. Fair enough. Koreans, turtle ship range increased from 6 to 7. Oh boy. Turtle ships are back, baby. Turtle ships are back. And they received the new tech. Lithuanians, bonus for starting with 150 food changed to each town center providing 100 food. So once you, let's say you play Nomad, once your TC goes up, bam, you get 100 extra food. You play any other map, you're adding a second and third TC in Castlage, you'll get 100 food for free with those town centers. It's gonna make their boom super smooth in general. It just makes their starting bonus a little bit worse. You start with 50 food less, pretty much, compared to before. Which is a bit of a nerf, because they were so good in hybrid maps where you can like go right to the lumber camp with all your starting bills and then take food afterwards, because you would get those fishing ships out so fast with that. Now it's going to be a little bit harder to pull off, because you only have 100 food instead of 150. I think it's a good change. Malay, new bonus. Receive infantry armor upgrades for free. That is considering the shift in or the changes to infantry units. I think Malay as well could be a winner in terms of a potential new meta of infantry siege monk being the play. So when you get armor upgrades for free as well, that makes it so much easier to pull these things off. And with that economy backing it up, I think Malay might be one of the winners of this patch. Let's see. I feel like it's not a massive change, right? It's just infantry armor upgrades for free. But still. I think they, like, right now I would say Malay and Incas are the main winners of the patch so far. I think Dravidians as well have massive positive changes. But yeah, I wouldn't say any other Civ has like a massive buff. But I feel like Malay and Inca so far look the most promising. Malians, Gebero HP increased from 30 and 35 to 40 and 5. So they got 5 more HP for both the normal one and the elite Gebero. 30% longer lasting gold mines bonus changed to villagers drop off 15% more gold. So this is effectively a bit of a nerf. Not sure why they changed that. I guess to give them more of a buff early game. So they're a bit worse long term, but they're a bit better early game. Because they'll get that gold faster. They just won't have as much gold in the end. I guess that's a good change. It's kind of how it was in the past, where they had gold mining upgrade for free. But that was removed as Bohemians was introduced to the game. And now they're dropping off 15% more. Not going to be a lot, right? But it definitely helps. So I think Malians will also see a lot more return to like open standard maps. Like their Drush into Flush, like Militia into double range archer production is insane. You can also use the market a lot because you have the wood discount. I think this brings Malians back to what they were before, which was a very, very good Civ. Tigui additional arrows changed from 5 to 8, so the Tigui upgrade also got a buff. And the wood discount does not apply to starting town center. Again, like I mentioned earlier, you're going to see a lot of Civs that don't have this like starting town center, or you don't get a bonus until the TC is up. Malians is one of them. What does this change? Nomad. What was the issue with Nomad, I would say, in the past? There's like 2, 3, 4 Civs that were like clearly the best because they had all their bonuses from the start. Now, Malians, for example, the wood discount is still nice for the dock and whatnot. but it does not apply to the starting town center. So you don't save as much wood as you would before. You're going to see the same with Persians. 50 extra starting food and wood are received after completing the first town center. What does this impact? Nomad. I think Nomad now is going to have so many more options that are viable. And I love that because Nomad is still very fun to play. I just felt like the balance, especially in 1v1, is a little bit stale, is a good word to use. But yeah, Malians, I think that's a very positive change. I think I add another civ to the winners of this patch so far. Malay, Malians, and Incas. Persians, they just get the new tech and they get this change. So I think that's fine. Persians are kind of in a good spot right now. I think they're a decent civ in pretty much every game mode. And they're just not as OP on Nomad anymore. Poles. Villager regen bonus now starts in Feudal Age. So no more Poles, Dark Age shenanigans. I don't mind that. But besides that, no more further changes to Poles. Malians. You main Malians, so big hype. Yeah, John, you're gonna enjoy them. Alright, they're touching my love. They're touching my love. There's a lot of notes under my love. Portuguese. So, they made massive changes to organ guns. Organ gun damage changed from 16 to 7. Elite organs from 20 to 9. Now that's a significant decrease, but there is logic to it. Secondary damage changed from 2 flat to same as main projectile. So all the extra projectiles do the same damage. They've changed the projectiles for the elite organ gun from 6 to 7, while the regular Castle Age one will just have 5. Elite organ gun accuracy from 50% to 0! 0! So they will have 0% accuracy, so the bullets will just go wherever, pretty much. Organ gun attack dispersion from 0.75 to 0.25. I think this means the spread, kind of. Like how much the spread is, I'm not sure. Organ gun bonus versus infantry from 0 to 1, so they get a little bit of bonus damage to infantry. And let's see the notes. They also got versus building 0. Elite organ gun bonus versus building 0 to 1, so they got 1 more bonus. I'm not sure how much this changes based on the changes they made there, but whatever. The aim of this change is to more accurately realize the vision of this unit being effective against groups of units instead of one high damage projectile and additional mostly cosmetics bullets. The damage of the unit is spread equally across all its projectiles. So for those who are familiar with Age of Empires 4, there is a unit called the Ribaldequin there, which is like a lower range spread damage. I think that's kind of the vision they have with the organ gun as well, and I think that's where we're heading. So I think organ guns will be way worse on long distance units, but short distance, they're probably still going to pack a punch. So yeah, they're pretty much going to be... That's a very good way to put it, I mean. They want them to be a shotgun instead of a sniper. Makes sense. So it's going to be a lot more damage to close units, close-up units. So that's where the organ gun direction is heading. We're obviously going to have to see how it plays out in the game. I promise you I will play this unit, whether it's good or bad. So we'll find out anyway. But they touched my baby. But also, let's see. I think organ gun was kind of OP a little bit. So I think it's a fun unit to experiment with as the changes come out officially. Elite Caravel upgrade cost adjusted from 750 food to 475 gold to 700 food and 525 gold. So just 50 less food, 50 more gold. Not a big deal. And they received the new tech as well. They are so bad against high HP units now. That's probably fair. So it won't pack the same punch against like paladins coming to try and clean them up. Like in the past you could like just group your organ guns and they kill every unit. But now the high HP units might be able to counter them more. But they might be insanely good against lower HP infantry or such, because they also have the bonus damage. High armor units. Yeah, high armor units makes sense. They have a lot less attack. So yeah, makes sense. But then again, the secondary projectiles do the same damage now as the main. But okay, we're gonna have to wait and see, okay? Saracens, zealotry cost reduced from 500 food and 450 gold to 400 food, 400 gold. Not the biggest change, but nice. It gives extra HP to Mamelukes and Camels. I like it. Gamson as well for the Saracens. Sicilians, a lot of changes for them as well. Castles and town centers built 100% faster changed to castle build 50% faster and town centers 100% faster. This is a good change. I don't mind that the theses are that fast, but the castles being built 100% faster was just ridiculous. So I think that's a good change. Dungeon affected by hoardings, so you can get that extra 1000-ish HP with the hoardings upgrade for the dungeon as well. Dungeon can now train spearmen. So you can play Feudal Age without a barrack and still make spearmen by building a dungeon. It's a very interesting change. I'm not sure if it's going to impact the way Sicilians play much, but I mean, if you, let's say you go forward with 5 villagers, you drop a forward dungeon, and the opponent is going scouts. Suddenly you can just make some spears from the dungeon. You don't actually need a barrack. And the dungeon also functions as a prerequisite for archer range and stable. You don't need a barrack anymore in the as Sicilians, unless you want to do like squires and things like that. This is going to be very, very interesting to see how this impacts the Sicilians. I can't wait to see it, because you also start with the extra stones, so you can kind of afford a dungeon as well. First Crusade effect reduced from 7 to 5 sergeants per town center. Okay, doesn't change too much. First Crusade cost adjusted from 300 food 600 gold to 400 food 300 gold. Quite a lot cheaper though. You do get potentially 10 less sergeants, so I guess it's fair. Sergeant HP increased from 45 to 15 Feudal Age, so a buff in Feudal Age, and a buff in Castle Age. 10 extra HP in Castle Age. Maybe we'll see a lot more dungeons in Feudal and Castle Age and Sergeant play, depending on how things play out. Sergeant Elite upgrade as well, significant discount, 300 food less and 125 gold less as well. Sergeant build and repair, 25% slower in the Feudal Age. Fair enough. They received the new tech as well, and the 100 extra starting stone is received after completing the first town center. Fair enough. Slavs, boyar cost adjusted. Do I consider Sicilians one of the winners of this? I think this is really cool. Not sure if this is gonna be suddenly make like Sicilians very good. We'll see. Slavs, boyar cost adjusted from 50 food and 80 gold to 60 food and 70 gold. So they're cheaper than knights now. I mean, you have to make them from castles, but still, they're actually cheaper than knights now. Oof, I don't know about this. Boyars were super good already. I'm not sure if they needed this. Okay. Boyar guys, they're gonna be an insane unit now. Drozhina cost reduced from 1000 food 500 gold to 900 food 500 gold. Okay, another buff to the Slavs, and they receive the new tech. And supplies bonus also includes gamsons, so you get supplies and the new tech for free. This is what I'm saying, guys. Slavs playing infantry monk siege now in Feudal Castle Age, with the potential transition to cheaper boyars in Imperial Age. Hell, you can even play boyars in Castle Age at this point. I think Slavs added to the list, one of the winners of this patch. I think Slavs are gonna get really scary. Really scary. Spanish. Inquisition also gives missionaries 1 range. Let's go. Missionaries are kind of like, there's literally no case where you want missionaries over monks in the game, pretty much. So this will give them a little bit more viability, but again, probably not. Conquistadors, -1 Pierce armor. Elite is unchanged. So effectively, crossbows, for example, or different range units are going to be a little bit more, do a little bit more damage to the Conquistador. They cannot run under town centers as easily anymore, or take tower fire, etc. So very good change. Conquistadors are kind of broken in the Castle Age. Even after this, they're going to remain broken because they just have insane mobility, insane damage output. So it's a good change for sure. New bonus, gain 20 gold for each technology researched. That's every technology in the game. You do loom, you get 20 gold. So you can go for a militia, triple militia, and not gather any gold. Interesting. You do double bid-axe in Feudal Age. You do horse collar, you get 40 gold. You can do horse collar, double bid-axe, and you get men at arms upgrade. Aging up, do you get 20 gold for Feudal Age? I mean, imagine so, yeah. This is going to be interesting to see how Spanish plays out with this. Obviously, their tech tree doesn't change. And the tech tree is mostly the awkward thing. But I mean, over the course of the early game, that easily adds up to... okay, so you don't get extra gold for the advancing in age, okay. But nonetheless, you do a lot of text throughout the game, so this easily adds up to 200, 300 gold in the early game. So I like this. You don't spend gold on blacksmith upgrades as well, right? So suddenly you can do a lot of blacksmith upgrades. Dude, do you even, like... I'm thinking now, I'm going stable, opening in feudal age. Fast feudal age and stable. I'll do the stable armor. I'll do bloodlines. No, not bloodlines. Not bloodlines. We'll do cavalry armor. We'll do bit axe. We'll do horse collar. We'll do loom. That's 80 gold. What else do we want to do in feudal age? Probably not much more. But anyway, that's 80 gold in itself. Just that. It's not that big of a deal. But you will have to take way less gold to like get to castle age, for example. So suddenly you save a little bit of time. So castle age will be reached faster. Town watch. Feudal age does not count for gold. But anyway, the point is you'll suddenly have 100, 120 extra gold early game, which means you can have 2, 3, 4 more villas on food instead of mining gold. Meaning you can push that castle age time a little bit earlier. Meaning you can get to castle age where you can get +2 armor for knights, for example. Yeah, you don't have to mine blood for gold for bloodlines, for example. Mine blood. You don't have to mine gold for bloodlines if you want to go heavy onto scouts. You can get your first conquistadors out pretty much from only researching text. There's a lot of things you can do here where it's just like everything happens 1 or 2 minutes earlier than before. So I think this unlocks a lot of potential for Spanish to become viable in like 1-1 Arabia even. But again, we'll have to see how it feels. But it feels like it should be a very, very good thing for the civilization. They also get a new tech, and this again affecting Nomad. Build speed bonus does not apply to starting town center. So you don't get that head start on Nomad, which means again, more viable civs on Nomad. I'm excited for this, guys. I think this has a lot of potential to make Spanish. Like again, I think about Spanish right now, they are pretty solid if you can hit the timings. But the timing is usually 1 or 2 minutes too late. But with this bonus, suddenly the timings might be 1 or 2 minutes earlier. And suddenly that unlocks a huge potential for Spanish. We'll see. Tatars. Keshik train time increased from 16 and 14 to 17 and 15. So 1 extra second for the training of Keshik. That's fine. I think Keshik are a very, very good unit. So it makes sense. Turks artillery cost increased from 450 wood, 500 gold to 600 food, 650 gold. Justified upgrade as well, because I think this is one of the best upgrades in the game, honestly. You get 14 ranged bomber cannons. And they used to cost stone in the past, so I think it's justified that it gets a cost increase. Teutons received a new tech, so Teutons champions again I think are going to be huge. Vietnamese paper money cost reduced from 600 wood, 350 gold to 550 food, 200 wood. Again, removing gold cost makes it way easier to actually pull this upgrade off. And again, this upgrade doesn't amount to too much gold in the long run anyway. So it's like, it's not a massive, not like suddenly a massive buff for the Civ. But it's, you know, it's nice. Vikings, another one. This I'm happy about. Chieftain's effect now also provides infantry with gold generation while attacking villagers, trade units, and monks. So we're actually getting some actual Vikingness into Viking. So you can pretty much generate gold by being by pillaging, as they used to do. As my people used to do. So you want to use the berserks to raid villagers and sneak into trade and kill monks. It's a pretty cool change. This, in addition to infantry, gain bonus damage versus cavalry. So Chieftain's upgrade is pretty cool right now. I'm looking forward to play this more. So 5 gold per villager, 20 gold for monks and trade units. So you kill 10 vills with berserks, that's 50 extra gold. It's not a massive buff, you know, but let's say you get like 20, 30 berserks into the trade line. Suddenly you kill 30, 40 trade units. That's a solid chunk of gold. Also in 1v1, right? Suddenly getting a villager raid can actually be quite valuable. Suddenly you can afford 3-4 more rams or 1 or 2 more trebs because you're raiding villagers. I love this change for berserks. I love it. Chieftain cost reduced from 700 food and 500 gold to 600 food, 450 gold. Slight reduction in cost as well. Berserker gang replaced with Bogsveigar, 650 food, 500 gold cost, and the archer line and longboats +1 attack. They have lowered the bonus for longboats versus ships though by 1, so they're balancing it out in that regard. So longboats are a bit nerfed until this tech is in, which is fair. I think longboats are ridiculously good, so I don't mind it. Berserk healing increased from 20 HP per minute to 40 HP per minute. This is also because you don't have the increased healing from Berserker Gang anymore, so they're just compensating by giving it to the Civ for free. And they received a new unique tech as well, so, I keep saying unique tech, the new tech. So the Viking champions with extra HP from the Civ bonus with +1 pierce armor are also suddenly viable. Vikings are added to the list of winners in this patch. What does the word mean? I don't know. Bågsvägar. I don't know. Best queue times while searching for lobbies in public update preview continue to be okay. If you want to find games in the pub, that you can do. So that pretty much covers all the balance changes. I'm sure they will make changes to the game in general as well. Those types of changes are only posted with the official update post though. So we'll go through that one as well. But anyway, winners of this patch, in my opinion, Vikings, big winner. I think this change for Teuton is also pretty big. Spanish, potential big winner. Slavs, big winner. Sicilians, question mark. Portuguese, question mark. Malians, big winner. Malay, again, this isn't massive, but I feel like they could secretly be one of the big winners here. Incas, big winner. I think for every other, it's Dravidians, potential big winner. This is on paper quite small, but it could have a huge push for like the way Dravidians play in general. Celts, question mark. Losers of the patch, probably Chinese. Berber, slight loser. Chinese. Burgundians. Gojara. Khmer, I mean, Khmer are great anyway, but Ballista Elephants on something like Arena, as Tattoo has shown in the NAC. Ballista Elephants were insane there. They can also be insane on like booming maps in general, so a little bit of a loss for Khmer there. Lithuanians, quite a loser in this patch. Loser is not the right word, but you know what I mean. Persians, significant nerf on Nomad. Same with Spanish as well. Portuguese could actually be potential losers of this patch as well. Don't think there's any Civ that has any significant changes. Anyway, that's like this. These are the biggest changes and biggest impact, the balance changes they've done so far to the game ever, in my opinion. This will be the biggest change up to the meta, Civ strength, etc. forever. So I am looking forward a lot to actually this patch dropping publicly, and I can just queue up on the ladder and mess around with all these different civilization bonuses and the ways to play the civilizations now. Yeah, Mesocivs, Aztecs and Mayans. 5 extra food per Eagle Warrior now. That is a potential significant nerf to both of them. But yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm super hyped about this change. I cannot wait for it to come out, and I'm looking forward to it a lot. This became quite a long video, almost an hour long. Hope you didn't mind listening to my thoughts. I know a lot of people have been asking. I've just been waiting for the official notes to drop, and they came yesterday. So here we go. I'm super hyped. Hope you are as well. Thank you for watching.